out good. All right, guys, welcome into Above Ground World News. We are live. We are in the green. Right off the bat, I want to thank all the prayers out there for my wife because everything come out good. Just goes to show you that the prayers work every single time. Anyway, guys, much love out there. We're going to jump into all this crazy news, and then we'll jump into the weather stuff. Let's hit all the headlines right off the bat. E. coli fears prompt recall of 110,000 pounds of beef. This just come out today. A Georgia company is recalling more than 110,000 pounds of ground beef over possible E. coli contamination. Man, they are just really trying to get rid of the meat, man. They're, drowning out all the farmlands, not just here in America, but over in Australia, down in South America. They're trying to wipe out the cattle. And then you get all these kind of scares, and they're trying to promote the beefless mystery burgers at all the fast food joints. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food Safety and Inspection Service, Carrollton, Georgia-based K2D Foods, which does business at a Colorado Premium Foods, issued the recall Tuesday for raw ground beef products from late March through early April and shipped to restaurant distributors in Georgia and Florida. So if you're in Georgia or Florida, heads up. I mean, this stuff come out back in March and early April, man. This is a little bit late on the recall here. So the recall meat, which may be contaminated with E. coli 0103 bacteria, is labeled ground beef puck and comes in two 24-pound vacuum sealed packages in cardboard boxes. So this stuff is going out to the restaurants. And, wow, the recall came amid reports that the E. coli outbreak has sickened 156 people in 10 states. So apparently it's going to other states. Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Minnesota, Mississippi, Ohio, Tennessee, and Virginia. Wow. Man, it's just getting worse. That's why you need to buy your meat from your local farms. Bypass all these stores and all that stuff. Don't eat at the fast food places or any of them places. All right, so we have viruses. Lots of them are falling from the sky. This comes out of the University of British Columbia. Viruses and bacteria fall back to Earth via dust storms and precipitation. Wonder what's in that precipitation. Saharan dust intrusions from North Africa and rains from Atlantic. An astonishing number of viruses are circulating around the Earth's atmosphere and falling from it, according to a new research from scientists in Canada, Spain, and the U.S. This study marks the first time scientists have quantified the viruses being swept up from the Earth's surface into the free troposphere beyond Earth's weather system, but below the stratosphere where the jet airplane flies. See, they're trying to say, oh, this stuff isn't in the chemtrails because it's up above them and down below them, man. Such BS. The viruses can be carried thousands of kilometers before being deposited back onto Earth's surface. Every day, more than 800 million viruses are deposited per square meter above the planetary boundary layer. That's 25 viruses for each person in Canada. Roughly 20 years ago, we began finding genetically similar viruses occurring in very different environments around the globe. Man, that's, we've been talking about this. We've been saying that the chemtrails are what's getting us sick. all the PM 2.5s, the thunderstorm asthma. If you want to read the rest of this article, it will be in the description. I don't think I pasted them in there yet, so let me kind of make sure I got this stuff all going here. Kind of feels like I'm getting a little chest cold or so, but I did do a bunch of concrete crap today, so maybe breathing that dust has got me a little bit funky right now. All right, let's get rid of that one. Here's some more disturbing news. It's like I hardly ever get any good news. It's always disturbing news. Over 1 million children under the age of 6 are taking psychiatric drugs in America. Well, that's just what they want, man. They want to mess up their minds so they can brainwash them. So one out of every 6 Americans are now taking some type of medication in this category. This is highly concerning given the scary side effects and poor effectiveness of many of these drugs. Yeah, these drugs don't help you, man. They just hide the symptoms. This is big pharma, big money. They want you taking this stuff, and they're starting with the kids. So, man, I'm not going to read that article, but the link will be in the description. So, biotech giant DuPont's gene shotgun shoots DNA into plant cells. And you notice they have the weed over here, the marijuana, because they don't want you to have natural marijuana. They want you to have the GMO so that they can do stuff to your DNA. Gun approach. Actually, a Crosman air rifle from a local drugstore shooting DNA-coated micron diameter tungsten particles into onion cells during the 1983 winter break. Cross-fertilization produced the gene gun, which propels DNA with pressurized helium, not the carbon dioxide of air rifles, thanks to the engineering handiwork of a machinist, John Nelson. There's no telling what they've been putting in our food for the years. So these guns were sold back in 1990. So they've been shooting them with air rifles to, put whatever kind of DNA they want in there, man. I'm telling you, these guys are mad scientists, man. No doubt about it. All right. Unprecedented lawsuit could end water fluoridation in the U.S. based on neurotoxicity studies. Well, this would be a win, but what will they, how are they going to get out all the pharmaceuticals that's been washed into the city water and all the radioactive and all the fracking crap? How are they going to get that out? So the Fluoride Action Network, along with a coalition of environmental and public health groups, has filed a complaint in the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of California against the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in response to their denial of our petition under Section 21 of the Toxic Substances Control, seeking a ban on water fluoridation. So this is actually a win if they can get this through and beat it. So I'm not going to read all that. I'll leave the link. Let me copy that. Copy. And we'll paste that in there. And I'll paste all these in as soon as we get through them here. All right. Earlier this month, it was reported that the Russian military has been training psychic special forces and used to combat and defeat the enemy with non-contact methods, according to the official magazine of the Russian Ministry of Defense. So what they're saying, fighters can see right through the enemy soldier, what kind of person they are, what their weak and strong sides are, and whether they can be recruited. Man, this is all stupid stuff here. What are they gonna be in a war and they're gonna try to talk to him and I mean, let's read this. These goat staring specialists in physiological warfare said to have honed their skills during combat in Chechnya using their purported abilities for application ranging from managing the amount of pain felt by a wounded shoulder soldier to locating catches of enemy weapons. So they're using some kind of mind control, man, or some kind of like what do they call that? Were they remote viewing? Yeah, there it is, right there. The United States have been officially conducting forms of this kind of research since the 1930s. With the remote viewing, a technique which purportedly allows one to project their consciousness over vast distances and even time. So do you think, man, that you know they use this stuff? All right, we're not going to get into any more of that crap. All right, let me paste that. Sorry if I got a cough and crap a lot. So check this out. Snow falls in. This is down in Australia. Oh man, in April so the snowfall down in Australia for the first time in 49 years as Good Friday cold blast turns Bluff Knoll white. And what I keep saying, man, we're going to be getting cold. There is no such thing as global warming going on. And so, yeah, they got snow out here, which is pretty strange. Hasn't happened in a long time. Look, they're playing golf in the snow. There's some die-harders there. So they call it exceptional. We have only recorded once in the last 100 years snow as early as this on top of the Sterling Ranges. You know, we're seeing this all around the world. Snow where it never snows. You know, we've heard some of these companies that modify the weather say they can make it snow in the desert. So let me go ahead and get that one. All right there. So we got high waters on the Missouri River, and they have overtaken the roads and fields, transforming the landscape into a sea of water. Now, I took video of this when I was out in when I went up to Omaha, man. This might even be the same area that I filmed. Wow, the quality of this video sucks. So, yeah, it looks just like an ocean. You can't even see the land anywhere. You know, we're seeing this, and that kind of brings me to something else, man. We had an earthquake down in Missouri, like a pretty good size one. Let me check this out real quick. If it's all up and running. All right, let's get this. What in the world? It's like something. Oh, there we go. All right, if you guys can see this. So we've had a 3.7 here in Missouri, down in the New Madrid. Not sure if it's right in Missouri or Tennessee, whatever. But, you know, we always look at the seismic flows. So let me take this back in days. And usually we see, you know, the pressure following the plates and coming down and around. I really think this earthquake was set off by the flood waters. You go back in history, when they built the dams, they were causing earthquakes just from the pure weight of the water. And this is what I'm thinking, because look, that happened first. And then as you go, the seismic pressure, we got earthquakes up in Alaska. And then we got them way down here in the Caribbeans. And then you got another one up in Alaska, one down in Hawaii. I mean, that's the 3.7. Some of the water earthquakes that happened when they were building the dams were all the way up to 4s, like 4.5s. So I'm not really seeing the seismic pressure flow through the plates and down into Missouri. And I didn't get to talk to Dutch Sense about this. He might even come on the show sometime this weekend. I did talk to him, but not. It was before this happened, and I didn't get to watch any of his updates or anything. But yeah, it just seems like that one was kind of off by itself, and so it just kind of, to me, it looks like that could have been caused by the water weight. I've been expecting some of these. I was really expecting them in California too. So let's take this up in days and just see if anything else. See, no other earthquakes around are showing up unless they're smaller. Yeah, there's a bunch of smaller ones down in that place that's been going on down there in Florida. So look, there's the seismic. Well, if I can get this thing to slow down here, let me get it back over here. So you can see by that, whoa, it's just kind of freaking out on me here. I can't get it where I want it. All right, I want it stopped right there. All right, so let's look at the age on this. So you had the bigger, the 3.7 pops off first, and then down below that one. So that's the seismic pressure moving. So we'll probably get a few more going down into Florida and then start going up the East Coast from the pressure flow. So actually there's quite a few that's popped off in this area right where the rivers are. These aren't really, I don't think, where the fracking operations are. This is from the rivers, the weight of the rivers. At least that's just my little theory. Anyway, let's jump out of that. So, yeah, if I can get to talk to him again before the weekend, I'll ask him about that, see what he thinks. So let's go ahead and jump out of that. So here we go. Geoengineering is risky, and they say it's unproven, but soon it might be necessary. Have they ever went to weathermodificationhistory.com, which they show one old article? I don't even think I want to go over this one. Yeah. Yeah, they try to show all this other stuff, like all the weird stuff, when they're not really talking about the real stuff. You know, these are the, this is the other stuff. All right, yeah, let's get out of that. That's a crappy one here. And then you got another one of these, down in, this is down in Switzerland. This is the same company that does this down in Australia. It's called Climate Works, and it's a filter for carbon dioxide from the air, and then it supplies it to a greenhouse where it's used to grow the vegetables. I don't know if it's the GMOs or the, you know, whatever it is. But yeah, then they try to make it look like, you know, this. Look, they got the water generation going on. We know them are for weather warfare. These are the CO2 filters. You know, here's like what they want to make. This is what they want us to think they're doing. Like this eruption created a giant mushroom cloud of steam and ash that temporarily cooled the planet. Humans could achieve the same effect with geoengineering techniques, but whether they should is a matter of serious debate. Well, hell yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it all over the planet. We see it every day. We know all the companies that do it. Here's their little, you know, this is their rendition of the vessels that would spray seawater into the air to change the property of the marine clouds. You want to see something? They're showing these fake ass things. Let's take a look at the worldview map right now. Check this out. Look, they're still out here, the ship tracks. They're all out here, like mega shipping operation going on for the 4th day in a row. This is the real ship cloud seeders. These are military ships, and they are out here just loading the skies up with a bunch of bunker fuel. This is the only place on the planet right now that we're seeing these ship tracks. All these long, squiggly, straight lines. That is what's being released. It's bunker fuel. It's the leftovers of the fuel processing. You know, these aren't shipping, you know, fishing vessels. These are out here for one reason only, and that is to modify the weather. Hey, thanks there, Jane Doe. Much love out there. So, this is just fake news right here. Fake news for sure. All right, we don't need that anymore. Comes out of the LA Times. They're all these mainstream, man, they're all fake crap anyway. All right, give me a second here to post this into the information here, into the show links. And then you guys will have these if you want to dig into them a little deeper. All right, we got that posted in there. Nice crowd again tonight. Hey, thanks out there. Who'd I miss there? Discover EDM. Much love out there. Thanks, Super Chat. Definitely help us keep going. So anyway, these are all lying, I don't even want to say what I want to call them, but so check out this earth null, man. Look, we got that hurricane over here. I can't remember the name of the hurricane. What was that? Hurricane Kenneth. But when you look right on over here, it looks like we got like a possibility of 3. That one's definitely gonna turn into a hurricane, and maybe this one too. It's like they're twins, like right next to each other. So you got a lot of weird stuff going on right here to get that many to form. In fact, why we got it right here. Let me go ahead and check the ocean temperatures. Look at the big wave anomalies down there. What are we looking at there? 40-foot waves. And on the cyclone, we're looking at 34-foot waves. All right, I wanted to look at the sea surface temperatures. All the hot water is way up here, so it's not that. Let's look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. Yeah, it's just not that bad, man. They kept trying to say we're going to have an El Nino, but, man, it is not an El Nino. It looks like the ocean is cooling. So there is no El Nino forming. I mean, it's really, if we take a look back, 2016 was the last weak El Nino. So we're going to go check that out. And this is kind of a bad thing when it comes to hurricane season. So here was 2016, and you had, quite a bit of hot water out here, but it still was a really low El Nino. Now let's go back to now. See, there's just no El Nino. What are these crazy, real hot spots up here? So that's kind of odd. But anyway, yeah, when you have like no El Nino and you got a lot of little heating going on over here, man, it's going to make the hurricane season much, probably potential for a lot more hurricanes, strong hurricanes. And we're less than 45 days away from the manufactured hurricane season. So I guess while we're here, we'll go ahead and check the carbon monoxides. So, got one coming out some volcano right there. Let's go ahead and just kind of look around and check this stuff out. Wow, look at Australia. It's pretty damn clear. So that's good for them. But they do got some aerosols going on, which we'll see that here. So still really high amounts there, around just below Boston there, around the Great Lakes. Seems like they're always putting off quite a bit. Look, even Southern California now has high carbon dioxide at the surface. Let's go ahead and check our toxic particles. The one they said that the viruses are falling from the sky. Ooh, we got something going on up here. Northern California, Oregon area. So we got a pretty big thing going on there, down to southern Florida, all up the East Coast. And look at all the toxic dust that got pulled up all the way up into Iceland, all over the Netherlands, all over, it's already went over all of Europe. It's down over here in Italy. Man, it's going way up in there. So they created some nasty stuff going on over there. want to check the auroras. Okay, that's all good. Forgot to look at the polar vortex winds. We'll see where they're at tonight. Look, they're really getting weaker and weaker by the day. And they're all moving down here. And that's a normal polar vortex in the southern hemisphere. That's what it should have looked like when it was up north, but they kept messing with it. Let's go ahead and check the jet streams. So we got a weird trough right there. And the reason why I look at these is because I know the ship tracks are up here. We're trying to see if they're using that bunker fuel to split the jet stream. So yesterday they were right here off the ship tracks were right there off the Oregon, California coast, and now they're down here in Southern California. Look, there is a split in the jet stream. You got this big trough right there they're working with. So we'll definitely be watching that. And I wanted to get that back down there. And I wanted to check these pressures out to see it. See, it's a high pressure, big high pressure there. All right, I just want to document that. Okay, we got that all good. All right, so we definitely have a Cyclone Kenneth, and we got Tropical Storm Lorna, which that's going to turn into a Cyclone too. Let's go ahead and go check the mimic map. Anyway, hope everybody's doing good out there. Much love out there. I do. I feel like I'm getting a chest cold or something. Better not be. I haven't been sick in like 2 years. All right, so we get the mimic map to load, see if there's anything crazy going on, which we already know what's going on. They're pulling the atmospheric river right here into the west coast. So the shipping operations may have something to do with that. It's really weird, man. These atmospheric rivers used to be pulled right up into the Aleutian Island chain, right up into Alaska. And look, they have just a pressure machine pushing it down. They're using atmospheric compression to push that down. Yeah, because the water flow should go up and then around and then down, but they don't do that no more. They're keeping it down low, trying to hit right there off the west coast, and then they've completely messed up the water vapor down here in the Gulf of Mexico. This thing should be swirling, you know, counterclockwise, going from east to west. I mean, if you turn this map upside down, look at all these. These are flowing, you know, a lot more normal, semi-normal than up here. So, all right. So yeah, nasty ship track operation going on for I think it's 4 days now. And if you look here, they're still spraying the chemtrails there off the coast of Eureka, here off the coast of Oregon. It goes all the way up into Washington. We got aerosols being deployed all the way up. It's not super heavy today, but definitely going on. And they're still spraying. It's down below the Bajas now. So it looks, oh yeah, we got aerosols all over there in the Gulf of Mexico. Look down here over in Florida. Here off the coast of Florida, you have tons of toxic aerosols being deployed. Look at the colors of this stuff. Nothing natural about that. We'll click the layer. Look at how many planes were flying side by side here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 planes or drones. And look, they're even dropping the little drops. You know, the real small, that's not even segmented spray. We call that orb spraying. And it looks like it goes right on up the coast. We got aerosols all the way there in Charleston, South Carolina, and the sprays go right on up, all the way up into North Carolina. And of course, they're mega spraying here in Georgia. They're pulling the system this way. That's why it's looking so heavy there. Let's back this out. Seeding the this side of the storm that's just completely flooding Texas out right now. We know it was all manufactured. And then look at this aerosols being deployed over Kansas. Goes all the way up into Missouri. So it's kind of a backside spraying. Oh, there's some right there in Nebraska, North Nebraska, small spraying operation. Minnesota, North Dakota, spraying operation way up there in Canada. And then you have this monster spray. It goes all the way from Wisconsin, all the way through Michigan, down through Detroit, and then all the way into Pennsylvania. Watch when I click this layer. So this is just, I mean, what is flying this far and in that arc to create this big trail? I mean, look at these guys, man. And it really looks like it was just like one plane, but it's probably like a lot more. But it just looks like one big aerosol being deployed like a smoke curtain. So now it's starting to drift into a weather system. So wow, yeah. So this spraying operation goes all the way out into Virginia, and then off and on spray. See if I can get this layer to look a little better. Well, this little bit of spray right here, you know, you got a bunch of crisscross patterns, but watch what it turned into just in a short amount of time. It turned into all that. That's not water. Water vapor don't turn into a weather system. This stuff turns into a weather system. So look at that. Nothing there but the chemtrails. And just a few hours later, the whole thing starts to connect. So and then it completely connects, and it's going in a straight line. What the heck is this thing? This is all man-made. That's a man-made cloud right there. All right, let's just kind of go take a look over here. You know, they got all that toxic air up here. What is this dripping thing right here? Remember yesterday, this is right up here where that spraying operation was. You know, it was up here north of Norway. And look at this dripping looking cloud right here. That don't look natural whatsoever. So big spraying operation right over the center of the UK. See, they're pulling this system over to them. Big, heavy aerosol. Dust storms going there off of Libya, all the way up into Greece. Look at Greece. Look at the color of Greece. They're being inundated with this virus in the sky dust. So heads up out here, man. You guys are getting hit with the viruses from the sky. Guess who's not getting hit? They got like, oh, they might have a liner. Look, they got a little liner. Somebody forgot to tell them not to spray. But I can't even really, there's actually a couple sprays here off the coast. Somebody forgot to tell them to turn it off. You got a couple liners right here, little segmented spraying. There by Cairo. We got another dust storm going on right here off of Saudi Arabia. Whoa, that's a big dust storm down here. Look at that. So we got a pretty big dust storm right there off of Saudi Arabia, Yemen, however you want to pronounce it. And thanks out there, that was Cleo. Hey, thanks there, Cleo. Much love out there. What is going on with the color of the ground over here? So there's some kind of weird color over here in China. What do we got going over here? Yeah, we got aerosols being deployed over here in Ukraine. Got some big old fat liners over here in Ukraine. You got fires going on over here in Ukraine. I wonder if they got bombing runs going. So tons of fires there right at the border of Ukraine in Belarus. I don't know how to pronounce that, but close enough. Oh, wow. Look at these spraying operations. We got some tic-tac-toe going on. Spraying operations in Kazakhstan. And in the Sea of Japan, it's all getting sprayed. So it looks like the aerosols are, they were getting hit big time down here in Australia yesterday. And today, we're not seeing as much, but what is this stuff? Oh, okay. Never mind. That's all okay there. Not seeing any fires. Looks like they're pulling some atmospheric river up. Might have one small aerosol right there being deployed. Let's check out New Zealand. Looks like they're getting blasted with some atmospheric rivers. All right. Is Guam out here tonight? Sometimes you can't find Guam. It's in the black. Hey, it popped up today. What's going on, Captain Guam? You got any military operations out here? Nope, you guys are all clear. Everything is all clear out here in Guam till you get out to here. What is this stuff? So there's something funky going on out here in the Pacific. And where does that go? So that's way out there in the Pacific. All right, let's go ahead and check the radars real quick. All right, I want to go ahead and take a look at the composite radar, see if we got anything going on with the next RAS. Mega flooding going on in Texas. So we'll let this run on through. You notice when they turn these next rads up, it pushes the storm off a little faster. It looks like our water generators are still going down here in southern part of Texas. We got our weird beams coming off right there on the border of Florida, Georgia, and in Alabama. We got some beam action. We got military chaff right there in Texas, right in the middle of the storm. Actually on the back side. Let's zoom in on a couple of these things. All right, I want to go check out the water generation going on. We'll just do the 24 hours, 24 frames. Should be plenty to catch this. Hey, thanks out there, Christy. Much love out there to you guys. So it's really not showing up this time, but man, it looks like it's just beaming something out. That's not the next rad. What are they doing here? Let me check something else here. Let's check the base. We'll try to go down through a little bit of these, see if I can see what's going on here. So what do we have going? That's got to be that water generation station right there. Look, it's just a solid green. It looks like one of them Saturn rocket thing launches with the weird halo around it. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it's coming out. Look at that. That is pretty crazy. I've never seen that before. It's coming out. It looks like a Q. And then here's the other water generating station right over here. So it's nice being able to look at this in different filters. Pulls a little bit different stuff out. Yeah, so we got some crazy stuff coming out of that. So tomorrow, man, I'm gonna have to zoom in right there and find out what is right there. Whatever it is, it just wiped out that storm. And it's shooting out two beams. Two, some, not like regular beams, but trying to get this really big so we can really check this out and get that crap out of the way. All right, gotta get my mouse out of here. Okay. So right here, if you can see them two gray lines, and then it just eats that storm up. Let me try a different layer, which is, I'm gonna try a little bit of different things, just see if I can get it to show up good. Yeah, it really shows up right here. So it's like got two rockets going off right there. And then here's that other generating station. So that's pretty odd. Let's go ahead and check. I think it was, oops. I think it was this radar right here. Yes, we will definitely need to rise, man. We better rise pretty damn soon, too. So we're getting a little bit of some kind of microwaves there. That's not the radar I wanted, though, I don't think. I think it might have been this one. Thanks there to Discover and Susan. Much love out there. Try to unzoom this a little bit. See if we get that to play. Yeah, so there's some of the beams, but they're really not running long enough to do no major effect, affecting a whole lot. Let's go ahead. You know what? I really need to go back and check the watches and warnings. Well, I guess I could do it right here. We go ahead and click that. Then I'll click the watches and warnings. We'll see what we got going. So we got flash floods, Shreveport, Louisiana, flash floods, Fort Worth, Texas, tornado, Shreveport, Louisiana, severe thunderstorm, Brownsville, Texas, tornado, Houston, Galveston, Texas, and a flash flood. So we definitely have some watches and warnings. Let me get back to the satellite main page. Let me go ahead and put the watches and warnings on here. What's the wrong one? Let's get this. And get that checked out. I want to put it on that, just so we can see it a little better. Man, I better not be getting no chest cold. I'm on vacation, so that would suck. Yeah, so yeah, we definitely had a few tornado warnings there in Texas, and looks like they could be going into Louisiana. So nothing worse than nighttime tornadoes. I'm trying to see if they're popping up this late. Yeah, there's quite a few. I'm not seeing any of the warnings, though, in Louisiana. Let me slow this down. Where I can... Wow, there's a tornado warning up here on the border, right where the earthquake hit. Right there on the border of Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky. And that was on there for a while. So you had 4 tornado warnings going all at once in Texas. Then another one. And that one stayed for a while. And then another one. And we're at night now. So you got 2, one right there at the border. going towards Arkansas. And nothing right at the second. I want to zoom in on that one in Missouri because that's pretty crazy right there. Let's go down a little bit lower. Because that's right where the earthquake hit too. Makes you wonder, like ground penetrating radar can induce earthquakes. Wonder if they're using something that could induce an earthquake and a tornado. That'd be pretty crazy. So yeah, right there. So one tornado warning was in Missouri, one was in Illinois. And that was right at 20:56 UTC time. So that was earlier today. All right, let's get that to play. We'll see what we got here. Kind of want to watch down there where that Texas radar was doing the funky things. See if we can spot anything here. Nice crowd out there, guys. Much love out there. We can go ahead and take off them watches and warnings now, just so we can see a little better. Really miss the old radar sites, man, where I could actually see stuff a lot better. Yeah, we got all kinds of aerosols being deployed everywhere. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call this a show. So God willing, I'm not sick tomorrow, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to all the prayers out there for my wife and all that stuff. So anyway, let's rise. Let's jump into the end screen. I'll come join you for a few minutes, and I'll try to restream this, maybe here in about an hour over on the D Live and the Twitch and all that stuff. So much love, guys. Be safe out there. Here we go. Let's hit the exit screen.
It's been said before that civilization is 9 meals away from anarchy. Nothing brings out the primal beast more than the deprivation of our basic human needs. When people become hungry, they lose their capacity to reason. When a person goes without food for an extended period of time, the finer workings of their cerebral cortex, that part of our brain which allowed us to build civilization, becomes greatly diminished, and our lower, more animalistic brain gets into the driver's seat and takes control. When people are deprived of food, ethics and morality goes out the window. And unlike many impoverished and underdeveloped countries, in the Western world the standard for nutrient consumption is very high. This will only deepen the sense of entitlement to a good meal when times get tough. Once faced with this foreign sense of hunger that many in our society have never experienced, many people will go into panic mode. When it came down to one family's survival over another, the true selfish nature of human beings will manifest. People who've never had to starve will be accelerated into ravenous mobs of entitled misfits, tearing each other apart for the last morsels of food. And when the food is gone, many will turn on each other. For this reason, the zombie metaphor that is commonly used to describe these sort of situations is not far off. We are literally talking about neurologically compromised hordes of people who are seeking to feed. If that's not a zombie, I don't know what is. There's a variety of anomalous events which could lead to a rapid disruption in the global food supply. Things such as electromagnetic pulse, global conflict, pandemic, natural disasters, terrorist attacks, and cybersecurity threats to the power grid are all serious events that would have grave consequences on the global food supply chain. But the threats we're going to talk about today are ones which specifically deal with our ability to produce enough food to feed everyone on the planet. And if you question the plausibility of any of the scenarios that I'm going to lay out today, ask yourself why millions of dollars have been invested to bury nearly 1 million seeds deep into an icy mountain of Norway in the Svalbard seed vault. This seed vault is built to last 200 years. It is built to withstand earthquakes, nuclear war. Even if the entirety of the northern ice cap melt, it will still be safe and above sea level. It's buried in the permafrost. And there's also a reason why Norway does not allow any genetically modified crops into this facility. We'll talk more about that later. But keep this in mind at all times, that there is a concerted effort around the world to stockpile the biodiversity that took nature millions of years to create. Because these threats that I'm going to discuss today are very real. As resilient and innovative as we are as a species, the following risk factors pose a grave existential threat to our civilization. As of 2011, an American adult consumes nearly 2,000 pounds of food per year. If every human being in the world ate like this, we would have run out of fresh water nearly 15 years ago. We would also run out of land. In order to feed the rest of the world to the current USDA dietary